This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, I'm bringing you a brand new company. Let me tell you this. If you haven't heard of this company, you should go out and buy it today because they are so grossly undervalued, it's not even funny. The name of the company is ForeverGreen Worldwide Corporation. They trade on the OTC markets. You can find them under the ticker symbol FVRG, market cap around 3.6 million. Revenues will probably be a little bit north of $10 million when it's said and done. For 2018, stock price at 12 cents. And we're very lucky to have the CEO of the company, Mr. Joe Jensen. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Everett. It's great to be with you today, and I'm obviously looking forward to our interview today.
Give my new listeners and my old listeners, give them an about statement. Who are you guys, and how do you make your money? And then I want to get into Q&A.
Yeah, thanks, Everett. We are a 20-year-old publicly traded company that has focused in the last 20 years on the direct selling space. And we're a company that really has been focused on innovative product technologies. And if you go out there, Everett, and kind of look at some of the things that we've launched over the past 20 years, what you'll see is a history of being very first to market in a number of different categories. We were the first to market with open cell marine phytoplankton technology. We were the first to market looking at healthy chocolate. We were the first to market looking into actually hemp and CBD going back a decade. And, in the last couple of years, we've launched, a number of incredibly innovative new products as well, looking at nutrient absorption. And so really what we do is we bring technologies that maybe have not been utilized the way they should have or have not been discovered yet. And we put those in the hands of our distributors that so they can share around the world. And, over the last few years, we've kind of done something exciting and new as well, which is that we have pioneered what we call the envelope model, which is putting nutritional products into an envelope and shipping them around the world to well over 100 countries.
Well, let's talk about the restructuring part. You've been focusing on that for the last 6 months. Where are we at? What's the progress so far?
Yeah, the progress really, Everett's been tremendous. And, a couple of things that I really like to focus on is, number one, what have we done with our overhead? Because I think that as a lot of companies that really had a big sales growth over a couple of year period, some of the past management, I think, was a little bit too aggressive on the spending side. And so over the last 6 months, we have dramatically reduced our overhead, downsized our building, our warehouse operation to something that really fits who we are as a company right now. And we've done some things that I think really, when you look at the numbers, look terrific. One of those things is that we've reduced our cost of sales, and pretty dramatically. And we've done that. Move that from 22% down to 16% just in the last 6 months, which I think obviously is going to reflect really well on future opportunity to increase our shareholder value. And then the second thing that we've done is our gross profit is up, and I think that's a sign of a lot of other things that we've done operationally with the business in terms of new distribution contracts, reductions in our cost of goods, and as we're continuing to do those things, I think that we're going to even see a little bit more progress on those numbers. But what it's done is put us in a great position, Everett, now to grow the company, grow it profitably, and to really, I think, make some noise in the markets.
The passage recently on the Farm Bill, the Hemp Bill, is that going to make an impact on your business?
Oh, it is. It's going to make a huge impact on our business. And then, as I mentioned, Everett, not only here in North America and the United States, but we're seeing very similar kinds of legislative activity globally. And as I mentioned, we ship right now to over 100 countries globally. And so we're going to be not only taking, this new direction here in North America, but also doing it in the Middle East, doing it in Africa. And then, of course, our number one market right now is Europe. and we're going to be making this available to our European distributors as well. And I think that with the tradition that they've had in Europe of broad acceptance of this now on the regulatory side, I think that's going to kind of complete the circle and allow us to really take advantage of what we've already built there.
In a recent press release, you guys talked about the company's CBD initiatives. Can you tell us a little bit more and what you got planned for the first and second quarter?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what we looked at, Everett, when we were, trying to kind of map out what 2019 was going to look like for us was wanting to do something, as we've always done, that was incredibly innovative. And so what we always look at is not only, what a particular product might deliver nutritionally, but we always want to look at the mechanism, right? And so we looked at what our current technologies were, with nutrient absorption, looking at, the delivery mechanism, and thought, what is missing out there right now? And as we started connecting the dots with CBD, what we were seeing was that there is a wider variety of CBD products available in the market right now, but they're all about the same. And they've really been the same, anywhere you look for the last 10 years and how those products are delivered. And what we decided we wanted to do was do something truly innovative. And so what you'll see with us is that we're going to be rolling out 3 to 5 new products between the second and the third quarter of 2019 that are going to really introduce to the CBD market something that CBD users globally have never seen. And of course, something that CBD users here in North America have never seen, with some new delivery technologies and new absorption technologies, which I think are going to be really tremendous.
The company that we're highlighting here today on Stock Day is ForeverGreen Worldwide Corporation. You can find them on their website, forevergreen.org. Also, you can find them on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol FVRG. You've been listening to the CEO of the company, Mr. Joe Jensen. Let me ask you this. We hear a lot about the opiate crisis. Do you think there's going to be a huge paradigm shift that the CBD market's going to cure a lot of problems in America?
I do. And, one of the reasons I believe that, Everett, is because I myself have been a big fan of CBD oil for a very long time. I'm coming at it from a little bit of a different perspective because part of my background, my history, has been working in a number of companies that dealt with neurological issues and looking at how you can actually solve addiction issues with a new approach on looking at the brain. And there's a lot of research being done out there right now, relative to particular ingredients, different substances, and really just different ways of administering, known nutrients. And so I've always believed that with what we know about CBD and looking at addiction, that it would play a big role in really, alleviating the crisis itself.
A market cap of $3.6 million. You guys are undervalued. That's my personal opinion. I think you guys are a strong buy here. But do you want to give me any comments where your company is going and how you feel about it?
Yeah, well, I feel like we're definitely going up, Everett, and I feel like people really need to watch us over the next 3 to 6 months, because what they're going to see is they're going to see entry into a new market right now with new products that, again, are going to be, and I don't want to sound too cliched here, but I'm going to call them blue ocean products. And products are going to, again, offer delivery and absorption mechanisms that have not been seen before in the CBD front. And then on top of that, I think that as a company, again, looking at what our plan has been for the last 6 months to a year, we've executed perfectly on that plan in reducing overhead, in putting us in a great position right now for growth. And I'm excited about what our investors are going to see, what people are going to be seeing as they're exploring the company for the first time. And I think that it'll be a real eye-opener, Everett, honestly, for not only investors, but also people who love innovative nutritional products.
Joe, in closing, is there anything that we need a chance to touch upon that you would maybe like to illustrate to my listeners?
Yeah, I think, one thing I would say, Everett, is pay really close attention to our European business, because right now, we've got some great foundations built in Europe right now. We have a number of product registrations there that are very difficult to obtain. And what we're going to be doing with this new direction now is looking very heavily at what we can do with what we've built in Europe, the investments we've put in there. And I think that we're going to make an even bigger splash there in a market that, for a lot of companies in the direct selling space have a very challenging time doing business there, and we're set up very beautifully now to have an incredibly strong 2019, not only in Europe but in the rest of the world, but especially in Europe.
As for my listeners, I want you to listen up. I brought you a lot of winners over the years, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to put a fair market value on this stock for 2019 at 50 to 60 cents a share. It's trading at 12 cents a share, grossly undervalued. Joe, I want to thank you for stopping by, coming on the show. I hope you become a regular. Hopefully you come back in 40 or 50 days. Give us an update of what's going on, especially in the European market.
Absolutely, Everett. Look forward to it, and looking forward to being on here with you again. And again, appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.